What's up, nasties? How you doing? Welcome to the Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. We'll be there on Monday. BP's Westgate. Get some lunch.
Yeah, we're going to get to eat there.
Some salt and pepper wings.
It's like we get a field trip.
It won't be free this time, but I have a feeling it will be down the road.
Fair enough.
You know why?
Why?
Because all the bets we made with Tony.
Oh, good point. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so it's going to be a riot. It's going to be fun. It's Reid Wilkins, Hernan Salas sitting in for Tom Gazzola and Dustin Nielson, of course, as we bring you the Oil Stream once again, presented by Boston Pizza. Going to have some fun on the show. I mean, not a lot of Oilers news to get to, my good friend. We're going to have some fun, though. Is that right?
I hope so.
Wow.
It sounds different in here, eh?
It does.
I don't know if that's going on air or not.
It does. And it feels different, obviously.
Well, very much so.
Yeah.
It's kind of a different day here. It almost doesn't, like it is a work day, but it doesn't feel like a work day because we have a lot of focus on moving. You were working much harder than I was this morning.
I'm not going to lie. I got pretty sweaty.
That would have because you were holding a hairdryer most of the morning.
I'm taking all these sticky things off the wall, and I haven't done labor work in a long time. And because in my 20s, that's all I did, right? I wasn't very good at it. That's why I got into this. So I haven't done labor in a while, and the back's a little sore.
Yeah.
I'm a little sweaty. Yeah. I think I've just earned myself a couple of glasses of wine tonight.
I think so, yeah, during the game. But we're taking we're doing a lot of things, but we're taking all the sound dampening foam off the walls.
Yeah, it's a lot like.
But they're stuck on with these stickers that are maybe, 2 inches by 2 inches or so?
Yeah. It's a lot of work, man.
Yeah, and they're quite stuck to the wall. So Hernan had to get the hairdryer, and he and Lieutenant Eric were peeling them off. Jay was able to pry a few off. But little things to do.
What was I gonna? Does it sound different to you out there? Let us know.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that will go on air or not.
Of course. Hit us up on the inbox, 780-218-9999. Slam that thumbs up for us and hit us up on the good old nasty chat. Like always, if you're listening, iHeart, TuneIn, radio apps, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, just slide on over and slam that thumbs up for us. Like I said, not much Oiler news going around, NHL news for that fact. Just one note from the NHL last night. What was it? Jackson Blake gets an 8-year deal, $5.625 million contract. So it's a bet, a little bit risky, but a young guy's getting a lot of money early on, but they're hoping in 2-3 years that it's going to be well worth it. So that's probably the only thing from the NHL right now, newsworthy from today. But we're going to have some fun. Reid, do you want to explain what we're going to do? Actually, do you want to get to the Elks first?
Well, just quickly on Jackson Blake, too. This is a 21-year-old player who played in the NCAA, who had 34 points this past season. If Ike Howard had 17 goals and 17 assists in his first full year in the NHL in 80 games, I think you'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
And, Jackson Blake was drafted 109th overall, and Ike Howard was taken, late in the first round. So he should have, you'd hope he'd have a higher ceiling. And then we're going to, I know but with the salary cap going up, we're going to see more and more players who are around half a point per game make a lot more money. You know what I mean? Like 35 to 45 point players are going to cash in a little bit more because I think GMs are going to think, okay, he's not spectacular, but he's reliable. Like getting half a point a game is still not bad. Getting 15 to 20 goals is still not bad. Well, I guess maybe you'd say Trent Frederick with that for the Oilers too, though he's older than Blake and Howard, who I'm comparing him to. But yeah, Blake's a decent player. Where did he finish on the Hurricanes? He was their 9th leading scorer.
So that's what I mean, where they're hoping that 2-3 years down the road, this is going to be a value contract. And that's a good point because now a $5-6 million deals for forwards like Jackson Blake or kind of mid-tier forwards, it's the old $3-4 million. Right?
Yeah.
Like what you used to pay guys like this, $3-4 million, now it's getting bumped up because the salary cap's going up, of course. So you're going to see a lot of big, kind of these mid-tier contracts, $5-6 million for players like Jackson Blake. So interesting. Again, for me, it's a big bet, and hopefully it pays off for them. But a good season last season, and they hope he keeps trending upwards. And I think they got I saw this earlier today too. So The Carolina Hurricanes have these guys signed for the next 6 years, okay?
Okay.
Sebastian Aho, Nikolai Ehlers, Jacob Slavin, Seth Jarvis, Keandre Miller, Logan Stankoven, Jackson Blake. That's pretty good core.
Yeah. How many have no move clauses?
Oh.
Aho, Ehlers, Svechnikov, modified. Taylor Hall, Martinuk, modified. Jordan Stahl, full no move. William Carrier, full no move, making $2 million. Eric Robinson, 8-team no trade list, making $1.7 million. Slavin, Sean Walker, modified, 15 teams. Gostisbehere, modified, 15 teams. Chatfield, full no move, and then modified next season. Players get them, everybody. It's not just the Oilers who hand them out.
No. Do you think that core is? I mean, I think it's solid. Again, no superstar on that core. I think they got some really good players in Aho and Ehlers.
Yes.
Ehlers. I think Stankoven's going to be a hell of a player as well. That's Jarvis. I mean, he played for Team Canada. Slavin's probably one of the best defensemen in the league. It's a good little group. I don't know if it gets.
They have
it
a
done.
very good team. They just can't seem to get over the hump, right?
Yeah. Goaltending's always a question mark there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Brendan Moore's got a pretty good reputation as a coach. I don't know. I know Stankoven had a pretty good playoff. We'll see. I mean, I just wonder about his size. I hate to be that guy as a little guy myself. But Ehlers is a good addition. I mean, Svechnikov is a good all-around player. Interesting landing place for Taylor Hall at this point.
Yeah.
In his career. Martinuk's a local guy who works really hard. I don't know if you'd consider them an Eastern Conference favorite, but they should be a perennial playoff team, at least for well, it's hard to look that far ahead, but certainly you'd have them in for the next couple of years, I would think.
Yeah, I think it's a good core. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's a great core. Again, no superstar. They don't have that one go-to guy, but we'll see what they can do. And so that's the latest. Jackson Blake signs a big deal there at 21 years old. Reid, I know this is the oil stream, but let's talk about the other big professional team. Big game. It's going to be 31 degrees in Regina. Oh, nothing but sunny skies. The Elks are moving to their veteran quarterback. And Dusty said it on our show yesterday, and I thought he said it. He goes, this is why you brought him in, for moments like this. And he made a good point. He goes, nobody wanted this situation to happen. We're all sitting here hoping they were 3-2, 2-3, Trey Ford's progressing, and you just continue to see what he can do, right? But now they're 1-4. Paranoia has set in with all the nonsense that they didn't want to announce when everybody knew it was going to be Cody.
Right.
They're feeling the heat. How confident are you feeling tonight? Because I look at that game yesterday. The Owls pull it off, but I think it's a different game if V8 doesn't get hurt.
For sure.
And those are two very good teams. But today we get Cody Fajardo, a motivated veteran guy who's a hell of a quarterback. And he's going back to a place where he had some success and hasn't played yet since he's left. But what are you thinking? What's your gut telling you about tonight?
Well, the Elks should be still huge underdogs.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Fajardo gives the offense a better chance of being productive than Ford at this point. But the Elks have also not proven they can consistently stop anybody.
Yeah.
And you have Trevor Harris just picking defenses apart so far this season, and A.J. Ouellette running over teams, I guess, except for the game Calgary shut him down. But Calgary's been shutting down a lot of teams. I think, this could be a pivotal few games here. Because I think a lot of the conversation we had with Trey Ford, certainly the last couple of years, and when you and I started our shows right after Labor Day this last year, was let's give him a few games in a row and see what he can do. And he sort of got that a little bit late last season, and now he's gotten the first 5 games this year. And I get the people who say he's got to develop. We got to give him a chance to improve. We got to give him a chance to get the hang of the offense. And I agree with that to a point. The counter of that is, when have we seen enough?
Yeah.
When might you have to say, okay, maybe he's a Canadian backup. Maybe he's a spark off the bench type of player who can run around, but he can't consistently drive the ball. I think that question has to be asked. I mean, in football, it's an 18-game season. I mean, they've played 5. This is a third of the game tonight. Like, how many? What is the record? And I know it's not just the quarterback, but that's a big part of it. I mean, what does the record have to be? And again, looking at a couple games against the Bombers last year that were big games where he didn't play very well.
Yeah.
And even that game against Winnipeg this year, which was winnable and he was good in, let's face it, he threw something that should have been a pick 6 and was dropped inside his own, deep in his own end. Didn't look good last week, their last game against the BC Lions. So I think this is really pivotal. And I want to bring up something else here. If Cody Fajardo plays well, he could be the quarterback for the next 3 or 4 years. Like, I really think we have to consider that as an option. He turned 33 in March. Yeah. So he's 33 for this entire season. If he plays well, he could be signed for 3 years. 34, 35, 36 is not old for a quarterback.
No.
I mean, good quarterbacks can play for a while. We've seen quarterbacks play into their mid to late 30s, whether it be Calvillo or like Ricky Ray was born in 1979. He played until 2018. Like, he played until he was 37, 38.
Damon Allen.
Like, so I think this is a pivotal few games for the Elks, because if Fajardo plays well, can you commit to him as your quarterback? I mean, they need a quarterback. Like, this was the franchise that always had a quarterback. Like, this was the franchise that would cede other teams' quarterback positions with guys they moved on from because they had the next, because they had Damon Allen pushing Dunnigan out, and then Ham pushing Allen out, and then Moss pushing Green out, and Ray pushing Moss out, and Nichols coming in, and Riley pushing Nichols out. I mean, this has been a franchise most of the time gifted at the quarterback position, and now, kind of since Riley left, they've been searching for the next guy. And I really hope Trey Fort succeeds. It would be great to have a Canadian there, but at some point I think we have to, or at least I feel like I have to recognize I keep going back to the same things about Ford. There are spectacular plays. There are good games, but is there a stretch of games where you say, oh man, like maybe they didn't win every game, but man, oh man, quarterbacking wasn't a problem. We weren't questioning any of the decisions. And it's kind of what I talk about, I guess maybe, this is the oil stream. It's kind of what I say sometimes about Stuart Skinner. The high end is there, but the low end is too low. Yeah. Right.
And Olive Kolzak, who joined us a few weeks during the playoffs, he said exactly that. When Skinner's on, he's on. Like, he's one of the better goaltenders. But the drop-off is just too much.
Right.
There's no in-between there. And I like what you said about Trey there, because, last year it was kind of, they kept swapping him in and all with MBT. They didn't know what they wanted to do. It seemed like the coach and maybe management had different ideas of who to start and all that. But the year before that, he played the last 9 games. Like, he's had reps. Right. And you always bring up, he really doesn't play well against the good teams, the upper echelon teams of the CFL. Like, this year's best game was against Ottawa, who's a bad team.
Yep.
Right. So, if Cody plays well and they still lose, I think Cody gets the next game.
For sure.
I think if it's an absolute disaster with Cody Fajardo,
well, then
you might see Trey.
Yeah.
For me, one of those things, it's going to be a tough game. There's a lot of things I worry about tonight, but again, the Elks have had some success in Regina. In hockey, we always use the word trap game, the phrase.
Right.
Could this be it? We've both had Ryder guests on, and they're like, nope, Corey Mace is not having it. Like, they're going to be ready. It's going to be a good game. It's always fun when they're in Mosaic. It's going to be a beautiful day. We'll see what Cody Fajardo can do. I don't think the fan base is gonna take moral victories anymore. Like, no. Oh, they were better.
No. I'm not.
Because you mentioned, I think if they drop 2 of their next 3 games, you can kiss the playoffs goodbye again.
Oh, well, they're already in danger.
That's what I mean.
So it's good there are a couple teams stuck at 3 wins in the West.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting. Good game, 7:00. Reminder, the Green and Gold kickoff show with Matthew Wanig, Jay Milne will get going following Reid Wilkins, who be on the airways with Jay Milne from 3 to 6. So we got you covered here. And then, of course, the boys will jump on for the post-game show. Smitty the Welder's upset because we're talking Elks. Well, sorry to tell you, bud, but it's game day and there's not a lot of Oilers.
Oh, we're going to talk a little bit a lot of stuff. No, it's okay, Smitty.
Yeah.
We meander. Well, especially me. Maybe you're a little more focused.
And then Dr. Octagon is mad because I'm wearing Elks gear. So, I mean.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Shame on you.
Oh, my. What do you want to talk about, Smitty? The fourth line? Let's go, Reid. Who's going to be on the fourth line of the Edmonton Odd? I'm kidding. Let's go. What are we going to do today to have some fun?
I have notes. Now, I have this sheet for people watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
I have this very sloppy sheet of paper, and I said, Hernan, this is going to be my notes for the show.
That's our prep. That's our prep for today.
So what happened was Hernan was having trouble with the printer.
Yes.
And this was the paper that was stuck in it.
Stuck in there.
So when we tore it out, I said, Hernan, I'm going to use this today.
Yeah.
I'm going to make use of this paper instead of wasting it. So here are my here's my list for the show that we're going to come up with.
Love it. Love it.
You want me to introduce the idea?
Yes.
All right. So there are two big superhero movies in theater currently. Superman and Fantastic Four started today. I guess even last night. Oh, I got a 4-word review from Mark Majot.
Oh.
He was on our show yesterday.
Yeah, I saw you went to the movie yesterday.
So I said, text me a 4-word review.
Yeah.
He said, heart, humor, and spectacle.
Oh.
So now I haven't seen either movie, but I know Superman has Lex Luthor, and Fantastic Four has Galactus, the planet-devouring alien. Like, that's literally how he survives. He goes around and he eats planets.
Oh, okay.
So we want to do the top 5 villains of the Oilers. So I said that instead of Oilers villains, but we want the top 5 people who have been villains to the Edmonton Oilers in their entire National Hockey League history. Now, Hernan and I are going to give suggestions and players that we think, or I have a coach as well, but we're going to have a definitive list by 12:55.
Sure.
So this is with your participation. So
Yes.
we're going to see who gets the most votes. We're going to start with some suggestions of our own. And then by the end of the show, we're going to have the top 5 all-time villains of the Oilers.
Will there be categories or we're just going?
We're just going to do top 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can it be, is it just one player? Can it be a line? Can it be a coach?
Oh, yeah, you could put a group, I guess. Yeah.
Mascot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We can say that. Yeah.
All right. I'll
start with my first suggestion. Now, this is the entire history of the franchise. Okay?
Okay.
So, but I'm going to start recent, and it has to be Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Because he played for the Flames. Now, I know they beat him in the playoffs with the Flames, but he ramped it up with the whole Cassian thing and then the turtling and then making sure he fought Cassian kind of on his own terms when they fought a few games later. And then, let's face it, he was fighting Ethan Bear before the goalie fight.
Yes.
Good for Ethan Bear to take that fight at the time. And then he goes to Florida, and he's beaten the Oilers twice in the Cup final, and he's still a little antagonist. He's a spot picker. If he were on my team, I would say great. I'd love to have him. But look, when did he finally act like he wanted to engage Kane in the Cup final with 2 minutes left from them winning the Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
And like Kane's no angel either, obviously. But Matthew Tkachuk for me is a strong nominee for this list.
Perfect. I love it. He's definitely going to be on the 5, I think. I'm going to go a little bit back before I got into media, and I was a big fan. I'd say one guy that drove me crazy, not just me, but I think the Oilers at that time, Robin Regier. He treated Hemsky so poorly, Reid. And he had that face he wanted to punch. And those years, Calgary, Edmonton, I look at the bad years when Hemsky was here, and Calgary just kind of run their show. Like, Robin Regier was just one of those guys that drove you crazy. Like, everybody hated him. Like, social media at the time, if you listen to post-game shows, everybody just wanted one Oiler to go after Robin Regier. So, do you agree with that one?
I think that's a good nominee.
Okay.
We'll see how often he gets mentioned. The Oilers obviously weren't very good at that time. A lot of mine are going to include playoff battles.
Okay.
But I think that's a good one from that era, from the decade of darkness. And yeah, I remember. I don't think I was. No, I wasn't quite on the broadcasts yet, but I know there was always that talk like, "Oh, he's just targeting Hemsky, and nobody does anything about it."
Yeah.
And poor Hemsky has to deal with all this, and the Oilers aren't tough enough. And it was always like Regeer. It's like, well, yeah, Regeer.
And it's funny because I think like you're going more playoffs. I'm going more decade of darkness because it was such a tough time for the Oilers.
Right.
Right.
That's a good nominee.
Yeah.
We'll see what people say about that. So
Okay.
we want your suggestions as well. Top 5 villains of the Oilers from their entire franchise history. Okay, Hampton Steve has already sent in a list. And it is a good one. Okay, there's a player that so he has Regeer.
Oh, nice.
Number 1. He has Matthew Tkachuk, number 2. He has Darian Hatcher, number 3, which we'll talk about. He has Ed Belfour, number 5, who I considered putting on my list. I put more than 5 for nominations. He put Chris Pronger, number 4. That's a really good suggestion from a different angle. Because he was here for a year, was awesome, and then he wants to be traded. And I mean, that set off the decade of darkness as much as anything.
It did.
And then he, came back and was always booed. I think fans kind of like him now because they look back fondly on that year, and he's pretty well spoken and does say positive things about Edmonton when he does talk. And I think he was legitimately wanting the Oilers to win the cup this year.
Yeah.
Kind of the way I took his analysis. But he was a pretty huge villain for a while. That's an interesting suggestion.
And that's what's great about this because you can go do so many different angles. I'll give you one Rip City Step sent in.
Okay.
Peter Pocklington.
Yeah, I was wondering if anybody was going to say him.
You sell Wayne Gretzky in his prime, you're a villain.
Yeah.
In Edmonton.
And then the entire 90s was the team being, I mean, obviously the 80s team got taken apart probably before they needed to be. Like maybe they still could. Well, I mean, they did win a cup without Gretzky. Like, who knows if they keep everybody together till 1994? Like, could have they won?
Yeah.
could have we, instead of 5 cups in 7 years, like, could we be talking about 7 and 10 or 8 and 11 or something? Like, who knows?
I think they win because they won in 90 without him. But including that, like, I think they win 2 more. Like, so that would be a total of 7. They were that good.
They were pretty good.
Yeah.
But and they even made it to the conference finals in 91 and 92.
Yeah.
Without, well, I mean, Coffey was traded earlier, but without Gretzky, Messier wound up leaving, like Fuhr wound up leaving. So
they all left, like Tikkanen and Curry. They all followed Wayne, and then the rest followed Mets to New York.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the Kings were in the final in 93 with a few ex-Oilers, and then the Rangers won it in 94 with several ex-Oilers. Right?
6 former Oilers on the team.
So I think, and then with Pocklington, the story throughout the 90s was, is he going to sell and move the team?
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was going to Nate, 98, 99, it seemed like there were daily stories. Like,
very scary times.
What was the guy from Houston? Was Les Alexander or something like that?
I just remember Houston was always the...
But then one guy turned out to be a phony and he didn't actually have any money. But yeah, it was always... It seemed like Houston was a big location that they might move to.
Like, we're similar in age, Reid. Like, those times were... Like, they were scary for Oilers fans.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, the dread of, like, oh my gosh, they might actually leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, what would you be? Would you follow that team and become a fan of that team? I don't think I would.
No, I don't. That'd be hard to do.
Right?
Yeah.
The NHL dies if the Oilers move.
Yeah.
Like for I think for the fans.
I think so. Yeah, to some extent. Yeah.
Because when Winnipeg left to Phoenix, do you think Jets fans became Coyotes fans?
I don't think so.
I don't think
maybe
so
a few did, but it's hard. It's hard if you're not in the market and talking with other people day after day.
Yeah.
But Pocklington's an interesting suggestion. It wouldn't surprise me if he winds up on this list. And I remember too, he sort of became combative, like when he did do interviews or was asked about moving. And
yeah,
I remember I think it might have been CTV did some panel with him, and it was like Cam Cole and Terry Jones and maybe Matheson, and like he was answering questions, and he's like, "Well, Cam, at least you're the one guy who will call me and get quotes and back it up. These other guys just write whatever they want and don't verify anything." Like it was a very tense relationship with some media people and even with the fans at the time. I think Pocklington was like, "Oh, it's my way."
Yeah. Definitely interesting time. So that's a good one by Rip City Step. Chris Pronger, Peter Pocklington, two definitely interesting ones. Let's continue to roll. Do you want to go next?
Okay, I'm going to do... I'll flash back.
Okay.
I think you got to put Theo Fleury.
Oh, 100%.
You got to consider Theo Fleury. I mean, just a complete pain to play against, and a good offensive player. And does he not get mentioned just purely for the Game 6
celebration?
See, like the ice slide?
Yeah.
After stealing Messier's pass at center ice and going in on a breakaway and scoring. And then all the fist pumps and sliding into the boards. I know the Oilers wound up winning that series. But man, oh man, I mean, he was extremely agitating, and he was on some very good Flames teams.
Yeah.
And I know they didn't, I guess they didn't beat the Oilers on the way to the Cup in '89, but he was hated. He was one. There were many Flames who were hated in that era, like late '80s into the '90s, and I'm going to mention a couple other ones. But I think because he scored a lot too, like he was just agitating in a lot of different ways.
No, that's a great one. I'm going to go with a guy that not so much for like getting in their face, but just because he dominated the Oilers. Dominated. Late 90s, early 2000s. Or mid 90s. Peter Forsberg.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Like when Colorado would play Edmonton, you were just asking how many goals was Colorado going to score?
Right.
Between Forsberg, Sakic, Hayduk, Tanguay, Deadmarsh. Like they owned the Oilers. Like Peter, and I love Peter Forsberg as a player. Like the butt move, when he'd be in front of the net and kind of do the spinorama. Like he must have did that to the Oilers 100 times and score. So I don't know if that's a really high one up there, but for me growing up watching the 90s Oilers, Peter Forsberg, I hated that guy because he dominated the Oilers.
I think that's a good suggestion. And I think maybe he's one of those players, as you were kind of alluding to, it's like, how do you stop him?
Yeah.
He's just doing what he wants. The Oilers weren't very good in that era.
No. They couldn't compete, right?
Colorado was good. And it was just like, yeah, I'm just going to kind of do whatever I want. How do I want to beat you today? Do I want to stick handle to the net and score? Do I want to hold the puck down low and just shrug you off? Do I want to set somebody up today? Like, whatever. I'll beat you however I want, boys. Sorry.
He was so damn good. He was good against everyone, but there was something special in his eye when he'd come to Rexall Place.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. 62 points in 39 games against the Edmonton Oilers. That's what Forsberg had.
Yeah, domination.
Like he just took them apart. That's a really good suggestion, Hernan.
All right, thank you. Statue Boss Productions says Forsberg is on my list. Yeah, he was an interesting one, man. Hell of a player.
Just a lot of people are starting to mention Ryan Kessler.
Oh,
and I put him on my list of suggestions as well. I think he's going to get enough submissions. Just looking at the text line as well, 780-218-9999. By the way, is how you can text us. You can post in the nasty chat on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, and again, from a Ducks team that just toyed with the Oilers, they finally played him in a playoff series, and then he was a big part of that, obviously, and the Talbot goalie interference and. Just that he was an annoying player, and I think he's. I mean, I put Corey Perry as well.
Oh yeah,
because first of all, so they beat the Oilers in 2017, right?
Kessler grabbed the pad, right?
I think Kessler grabbed the pad. Who actually got credit for the goal?
Corey Perry, I think.
And then Perry scored in overtime, didn't he? In double overtime.
Oh, maybe.
I think he scored the double overtime goal too.
Okay,
but. Yeah, I think it was Kessler who grabbed the pad. So, but here's the thing. So they won that playoff series, but also it seemed like Anaheim was one of those teams that during the decade of darkness, like really would toy with the Oilers. And even, it was always like, that's the team the Oilers would love to be.
Yeah.
And look, and I remember, doing some games with Rob. And sometimes, Anaheim could win 6-2 or 5-1. But I remember there was this one game, Anaheim won 1-0. and they scored with about 5 minutes left in the second period.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a low event game. And I think Anaheim might have like had a tough schedule, like a few road games in a row or some back-to-backs and stuff like that. And it was one of those games like Anaheim just knew exactly what they needed to do to win. Like they probably knew going into the game, okay, we're going to win 1-0. Like they just checked.
Yeah.
They didn't make a mistake. The Oilers actually hung in there and played a decent game, but the Oilers made a mistake, like a mess up in the defensive zone. Anaheim scored.
Yeah.
And then the Oilers just got nothing. Like that's, and those guys were sort of the core, two guys who were the core of that team. And just, how do we want to beat you today, Edmonton? Like we have more skill. We're tougher. We're more experienced. You can play your best game.
Yeah.
Play your best game, and we'll still beat you 90% of the time.
We're still going to take
and we'll get under your skin along the way.
No, Kessler's a good one. But I think Kessler for many markets
yeah,
would
for
be
sure.
on the list. I think a close second would be Burrows, Alex Burrows.
Oh, yeah, that's
he
a
was
good
pretty
point.
annoying. But that's a good one. I think Kessler might make the top 5 list. Can I give you another one, Reid?
I'm just looking, sorry.
Yeah.
Raquel scored the tying goal.
Raquel.
With the goalie, with the pad grab, and then, Perry did score in double overtime.
We got a few in the inbox. Liquid Beaver. Did you read Liquid Beavers? No. He says Kachuk, Darian Hatcher, Billy Smith.
Oh, that's a good one.
Corey Perry and Peter Pocklington. And the coach also said, how about a Billy Smith from the first Stanley Cup? Like Marvel the next time with Sweet Revenge.
Smith is a good suggestion. I mean, he slashed...
Nielson?
Might have been, yeah. He swung his stick. And then, I mean, Hextall had that stick swing too.
John says, Harvey the Hound.
Well, you mentioned mascots. Could they be eligible?
I mean, he pissed off Mac T that one game. Right?
Who else was on that list?
Oh, for the Liquid Beaver, it is, so he had Kachuk, Darian Hatcher, Corey Perry, Peter Pocklington.
Okay, so do you want to talk about Darian Hatcher?
Yes. Very close to Robin Regier. And again, I know the Oilers picked up that awesome win when Marchand scored in overtime. But man, Darian Hatcher was such the D word to play against. Like he punished every Oiler he could. And back then you can slash, you can cross check as many times as you want, right? I remember there's one clip, Boris Mironov chasing one of the Stars player behind it. I think he slashed him like 9 times, Reid, and there was no call. So Darian Hatcher's definitely up there. He was just big, mean. And again, this is pre-salary cap era. The Oilers couldn't really compete with the Colorados in Dallas, even though they beat him in back-to-back years in the first round. But Darian Hatcher has to be high up on that list because like Regier, and the thing with Regier was just more on Hemsky. It's like they would battle. Darian Hatcher drove all the Oilers forwards crazy.
Yeah. And
the fan base for that matter.
He's a good one. Definitely a villain. Definitely easy to hate. I'm going to go with that era of the Dallas Stars as well.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Ken Hitchcock. Now, I know he later on briefly became the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers.
Yes.
But if you're just joining us, we're trying to put together a list with your help, the top 5 villains of the Oilers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So Ken Hitchcock coached those Dallas teams that beat the Oilers every year except one when they met in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was the whole Edmonton guy now coaching against the Oilers and he keeps beating us. And then he coached those St. Louis teams, again, during the decade of darkness, but that was another team that would just toy with the Oilers.
Yeah.
Like, we're bigger, we're more skilled, we can defend better. That's great. You keep drafting all these number 1 overall picks. We're just not going to let you anywhere to the net.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the first years I was doing the games, I stayed for the Blues practice after the Oilers practice. So you go into the dressing room and the guys are just taking their equipment off, so they got their undershirts or their pajama stuff on or whatever. And I was like, my God, like they were just all wide and thick, but those total big body, protect the puck, sit over top of the puck, box you out. And then there was that, I remember Stoff saying the story, like one day, I didn't see this, but Stoff and some other media saw it. The media went in to watch to do the St. Louis interview, and Hitch hadn't, or whoever was supposed to do it, didn't erase the whiteboard that had the Oilers line combinations and some notes for that game for the Blues. And Hitch had written check, 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 and they will spit the bit. Like just basically like basically just calling the Oilers wimps.
Yeah.
You know, like basically saying they don't have it.
Just keep going at them. They'll give up eventually.
Keep going at them. Like, we know we're better. Don't forget that we're better. We know we're built better. We know we're bigger. We know we're tougher. We know we have more experience. Don't worry about if they got some flashy players. Just wear them down. And basically, they can't stay with us. They can't stay with us. So I think, I don't know if Hitch is going to make the top 5. I mean, Nino putting in there, Kachuk, Fleury, Marchand. Would you say Marchand before this year, though?
No.
Hatcher, Paul Maurice, that's an interesting suggestion. Maurice might be an interesting suggestion given the last 2 years, but that's why I would nominate Hitch. I don't know if he's going to make the top 5, but I wanted to put his name forward.
I got one from the late 90s, early 2000s, and this probably won't make the list, but I think some Oiler fans might agree with me. It's a line from the Vancouver Canucks. Todd Bertuzzi, Marcus Naslund, Brendan Morris.
Right.
In the 2000s, just like Peter Forsberg did, they dominated the Oilers. The Oilers didn't have a chance with that line. And not only then, the Sedins would come on the ice and dominate the Oilers. So for me, that line was deadly against Edmonton. They feasted on the Oilers teams for 5-6 years. Yeah. They were that good. And back then, they played a lot. Remember? Yeah. The 8 games and all that. So I know it's a long shot, but for me, that Bertuzzi line with Vancouver, I hated them.
Well, and that's, I mean, I guess we're talking a few teams that during the decade of darkness just always seemed to beat up the Oilers. I mean, I was even thinking of putting Jimmy Howard on this list because I think it was 19 games until he lost to the Oilers in regulation time. I think even Gibson early in his career was like 22-1-1 in his first 22 games against the Oilers or something like that. But anyway, that's a good suggestion. And yeah, like I was saying, a lot of these teams from the decade of darkness that just, it's like, well, that's an automatic loss. Like we got 4 games against Vancouver, 3 against the Blues, 4 against Anaheim, and the Oilers would go like 1-9-1 in those games. You know, like they really would. Like you just couldn't beat any of those teams. And certainly, I feel like, I know for younger fans, this might seem like, what are you talking about? But there wasn't a hatred for the Canucks in the 80s and 90s. I feel like the seeds of the Oilers-Canucks rivalry, though it kind of really hit a fever pitch when they played in the playoffs last spring, I think it started, at least from an Oilers standpoint, that hatred started in that era when the Canucks were good.
Yeah.
And we're beating the Oilers a lot. And the Flames stuff died off a little bit because I know the Flames weren't as bad in the Oilers in the decade of darkness, and they had a couple playoff years, but there were some years it was like, well, Edmonton's 29th and Calgary's like 24th. Like Pat Steinberg and I started calling it the pillow fight of Alberta. Well, because a listener wrote into my old show, and it kind of was some years. It's like, well, great. The winner is going to jump from 27th to 25th in the standings and leave the other team in 28th. Like, who cares, right? And so that's interesting. You bring up those Canucks,
and it's also interesting that they weren't rivals because when one team dominates, like there's nothing there, right? Like it's not like they would go back and forth, and one team would win one night, then the Oilers would bounce back. It was pure domination by that line, pure domination.
Troll texting in 780-218-9999. Tim Hunter, Jim Poplinski, good suggestions.
Joel Otto
and I have Joel Otto down. Yeah. I also have, and some people might not remember this player or might be like, Reid, who was this player? But I put Neil Sheehy down.
Okay.
Because I remember as a kid and into my teens watching that Oilers-Flames rivalry, and it might have probably even been John Short or a show like the ones we do, people commenting that Sheehy was the one player that actually got under Gretzky's skin. Like that he actually was annoyed by, like, because Wayne, had to take a lot of abuse. And even with, I know people say, well, whenever somebody did something, Semenko would just fight him. Well, it wasn't that simple.
No.
I mean, Semenko did fight a lot and was a deterrent, but Gretzky still had to put up with stuff and deal with things. And I think Sheehy was from what I remember, the dialogue at the time was, that Sheehy was that guy. So I don't think he's probably top 5, but I wanted to put him out there.
No, that's a good. I mean, a lot of Calgary Flames from the 80s, early 90s for sure with the battles with the Edmonton Oilers. Is let's see here.
Nino.
Bieksa getting a lot of
Bieksa.
Bieksa.
What, is he still a villain to people as a broadcaster?
I think he's fantastic.
I think he's good. He's super opinionated.
Yeah.
Which is what people want.
And he's got some good chirps. He's funny. And he's a guy that was a good player.
He was
a good player.
Yeah,
so.
but he was part of that Vancouver era too.
And Anaheim.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Because I think he was on Anaheim when they lost in 17.
Was he there at that point? Yeah, I think he was.
I think he was.
How about this suggestion from Nino? How about Gretzky when he went to LA the first few years?
Yeah, that's enormous. You hated him.
Yeah. I mean, he got the record. He got the scoring record in Edmonton as a King, and people went nuts. But then in the 89 playoffs, he wasn't. And wasn't there was that one interview where he seemed to say that he was happy to leave Edmonton or something like that. I don't know if he meant it exactly that way. That's an interesting one. I mean, those first few years in LA, he wouldn't have been overly popular. I guess, he was, but he wasn't. I mean, he was still a Gretzky, but he's wearing the wrong laundry at that point.
It's just one of those, that's probably the big one. Wayne Gretzky as an LA King.
Gretzky
scores here.
King. That's an interesting one.
It was just, to a lesser extent, I'll throw a name out there, and a lot of people will remember. How about Mike Comrie?
Oh, because of all the,
When he left, people hated him.
Yeah.
Hated him.
Yeah, where there was contract stuff going on there.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah. He just didn't want to play here anymore. I remember that. It's present in my mind. It's just, there was a lot of hate towards him. It was very close. It was Pronger-esque.
Right.
The hate that he got.
Well, we've reached the point of our moving where Matthew is being pushed around the office. We have some of those moving boxes that are on wheels, like the plastic ones, and he is now sitting in one, and Jason Milne is pushing him around the office as if it's a carnival ride.
It's summer, baby. We need that content. Check our socials. You'll see it there.
All right, should we start narrowing this down?
Yes.
Okay, so who are our finalists? I think we got to go Matthew Tkachuk.
100%.
Kessler.
100%.
Hatcher.
98%, yes.
Pocklington.
Ooh.
Is he a finalist as we try to get it down to 5?
I think he has to be.
So Tkachuk, Kessler, Pocklington, Hatcher, Forsberg,
Regier. Cozy says Marc-Andre Bergeron for hitting Ladd into Rolison.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't know if we put him on the list.
Oh man.
As okay, there's another guy I want to bring up. Pietrangelo.
For the slash?
For the slash and just his overall demeanor. I mean, the Draisaitl slash is a big one.
Do you think he'd be top 5 though?
I don't know. I mean, if you were doing,
because nothing's ever come from it.
If you were doing McDavid Draisaitl era, I would say yes.
Exactly, but because the slash happened and nothing ever happened. Now it's just everybody just hates him,
right?
And in part because he's a Vegas Golden Knight. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if you were going to go that road, you could put Eichel or Marcia Show on the list, or any of the guys that knocked them out in 2023, right? Yeah.
Do you think Billy Smith should be on the list?
You know what? He probably should be. I mean, shouldn't there be? I mean, they did play the Islanders 3 times. Don't forget, before they went to the divisional format, they played them in the quarterfinals, the second round in 1981. The Oilers upset the Canadiens, so it was the top 16 teams. You were just seeded 1 through 16. So the Oilers were 14th, beat the third place Canadiens, and I can't remember where the Islanders were. So they played the Islanders that year and then played the Islanders in the fourth year in a row the Islanders won it and then beat them the next year. I think that's a good suggestion. And for younger fan, I was still pretty young myself at the time. I mean, I wasn't even, I was born in 74, but I remember Billy Smith being an absolute villain to around the NHL. I believe he didn't shake hands after playoff series, or at least for like he would just skate off the ice.
Oh, really?
And I mean, he slashed. He was mouthy. He was pretty despised.
Yeah.
Like he was and again, there were 3 playoff series between these two teams. And in that era, you played the Eastern Conference 3 times, not just twice. So you did get extra games in the regular season. And I remember one year, I'm going to look it up right now. It was a big deal because I think the Oilers were on the way up, or maybe it was a rematch of the previous year's Cup final. And there was a game like in October or November. The Oilers were going into Long Island, and it's like, okay, like this is the chance to prove that the tables have turned. The Oilers are on the way up, and the Islanders just crushed them.
Just dummied them.
I'm trying to find when that might have been. Maybe it was December of '83. Islanders beat them 8-5. Could have been that game. Like it was just. But I don't think it was as close as being 8-5. By the way, here's a fun fact for you. On Tuesday, March 3rd, 1981, the Islanders and Oilers played an 8-8 tie.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
Imagine social media back then with the goaltending.
Oh, you got to trade everybody. I'm comfortable. I don't know if the listeners will agree with me. I'm comfortable putting Billy Smith on this list.
I think he has to be. Even though, like, it's like, again, we were kind of young for that. I think he has to make the list. I also think Fleury should be on there.
Theo. Okay. So we're finalizing the list. So we got Billy Smith, Theo Fleury, Ryan Kessler.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got to narrow it down. Pocklington, got to help us, everybody. Pocklington, Matthew Tkachuk, Robin Regeer.
Tkachuk for sure.
Okay, Matthew Tkachuk.
I don't think anyone's drives Oilers fans more crazy than that guy.
Luke in Cowtown's also suggesting Hextall. I think that's a decent suggestion, but it was only one Cup final.
Yeah.
And then he kind of bounced around.
And the Oilers,
And they won in 87.
They did beat them, so, it's a good one. I was thinking of him too when Billy Smith was brought up. So,
All right, so you got to help us here, everybody. So we're going to go with Billy Smith, Theo Fleury, Ryan Kessler, Matthew Tkachuk. Who's then rounding out the list of the all-time villains of the Oilers? Hatcher, Forsberg, Regeer are possibilities. Bieksa, Gretzky as a king. Well, somebody suggested Toronto Sports Media. I don't know if that would be on the list, but trust me, those guys aren't. There might be a couple but most of them are just doing their jobs.
Dave in Section T says Janet Gretzky.
That's a good one.
Oh, man. There's a lot of good ones.
Statue Boss Production says, I must be in a minority, but I think Tkachuk is a non-factor. He talks a big game after his teammates win the game for him. Well, there is some truth to that, but I still think that's maybe part of what makes him a villain.
And and when he was catching Zach Kassian with his head down behind the net with those vicious hits, like Oiler fans, if Oiler fans could have got on the ice, they would have went after him. That's how bad it was.
Oh yeah, fans would have attacked him.
People were losing their minds, and because he wouldn't fight, right?
Right.
Yeah, I remember people just going crazy because I was at 1260 at the time. People were like losing. I want to go to Calgary and fight this guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it were up to me, I would actually put Pocklington on this list as the 5th guy.
He sold the best player on the planet.
Yeah. And then, like I said, it was kind of a decade of him being combative and then several years of where's he going to move the team and just a bunch of distractions and arrogance and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so I think he should be on there. So do we have our list?
Okay, so we have as our top 5 Oilers villains of all time, villains of the Oilers.
Here we go.
In no particular order. I'll do chronological order. Billy Smith, Theo Fleury, Peter Pocklington, Ryan Kessler, and Matthew Tkachuk.
I think we aced it.
I think we did too. I think it's perfect.
I think that's a perfect list.
A lot of good feedback from people too. We appreciate it.
A little bit from every decade.
Well, that's the thing.
Right?
It doesn't just all lean towards. It's not all guys in the last 10 years. And I think putting Billy Smith on there is very appropriate. You could pick a lot of flames from the 80s, but Fleury was one of the highest profile guys on the team.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you'd put Mike Vernon or Al McInnes on.
I actually like Mike Vernon.
Yeah. Like Fleury was a pest. Like Fleury was one of the guys. Well, he didn't score, but man, you still hated him.
Yeah,
or some nights, then he might get 3 points in another night.
And even when he moved on to other teams, you still hated him.
Yes, yeah, he was like Oilers fans started liking him, and then Kessler's a good one to take somebody from that Canucks/Ducks era
because he grabbed that Talbot's pad, man.
Yeah,
he turned that series around.
And then Matthew Tkachuk for a guy of a more recent vintage because he's played the Oilers 3 times in the playoffs, and now he has been on the winning team twice.
That's what I mean.
And in pretty big series. That was fun, Hernan.
That was great. It's great.
Brought back a lot of bad memories for people, probably.
A decade of darkness was not kind to us. Holy smokes! But that's a good. I like the angles though, like because you had Chris Pronger, Mike Comrie, then you had the owner. Right, then you had lines, you had certain players, and not just because they were the ratty kind of player, but like a Peter Forsberg, just because he dominated the Oilers.
Yeah,
like what'd you say, 62 points in 39 games?
Yeah, it was incredible. It's the most points he has against any opponent. Yeah, 62 and 39.
I find that only 39 games. I find that kind of low. I thought it'd be a lot more.
He played the most games against Vancouver and had 57 points, 44, and 57 and 44.
Hell of a player. Reid, what's coming up on the Reid Wilkins show with Jay Milton?
We'll set up Elks and Riders. We're gonna talk about moving.
Okay.
I mean, Jay and I always like to take things from our lives, and that's a big discussion point for us. We're gonna look at some Stanley Cup odds. 2 months before the first preseason game.
Nice.
Just for fun. And a really cool story. Harry Ainley, offensive lineman, going into grade 12. He's already committed to the University of Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Keep it locked here. Reid Wilkins, 3 to 6. Green and Gold kickoff show, 6 to 7 with Matthew Wanek, Jay Milton. They'll be back right after the game for the post-game show as well. And up next, EST Afternoons with myself and Zach Kubish. We'll have Matthew Wanek. We'll have Lee Hacksaw Hamilton to kick off NFL training camps. We have another edition of Who Dis? And we'll continue our Faces of the Franchise, team number 2. Who will it be? That's all coming up on EST Afternoons. Don't go anywhere. For Reid Wilkins, Zach Kubish, Benny the Intern, I'm Hernan Salas. This has been the Oil Stream presented by Boston Pizza. Keep it locked here on Edmonton Sports Talk.